Okay, let's now start this session. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's start with a simple introduction of mine so that we'll wait for some 2 minutes for others to join in. My name is Teju and I run this organization called N Smiles, and we are into basically enhancing well-being. So coming to my training, I am a psychologist, and I have so far through my work at NSMILES reached out to more than 5 lakh people. I have worked with different institutions, colleges, schools, kids, adults, and so far I have reached 5 lakh people. And my goal is to impact 50 crore Indians to live happily. And this is one of the why reasons why I'm doing this session, so I can help you share my small piece of knowledge in terms of how we can enhance well-being, resiliency during tough times. Okay. Um, so let's make this session as interactive as possible. Do you all carry a pen and a pencil with you? Kids,
Okay.
can you please carry a pen and pencil so that we will write down in case it required? Okay.
Okay.
You have a pen and pencil with you, right? Pen and paper.
Getting it.
Yeah, yeah. When you're ready, please let's join. So it's very not. It's during this COVID times. We are just staying at homes, not meeting friends, not having those kind of face-to-face interactions with our school buddies. Especially for those who are under 9. So ninth and 10th, I understand that you go to school. So at least you have some sort of connection with your people. But more or less, when they are staying at home, not having much interaction with other school kids or other friends, and then you have exams, new modalities of school, which is maybe adding some small sort of stress or worry, and probably your past failures, your past disappointments, when your parents do have fights or conflicts, those small things also may affect your happiness or your way of living happily. And at that time, what do we do? That is the session we have today about. How can we bounce back from our failures? What do we do when we feel stressed? Uh, do I know that I'm stressed or not? These are the things which are very, very important for us to boost our resiliency, boost our emotional quotient, be in control of every situation. That can help you maximize your potential, be it at school, be it at life, and when you're helping your friends and whatsoever situation you are in. Okay, so considering stress is part and parcel of our life, what is that we could do is what we are going to discuss more about. Okay, so the first thing I would like to help you with is, how are you feeling right now? If I know how am I feeling at this moment, there is something I could do about. So what is that I'm feeling right now can be examined through emotions. Okay, at this moment, current moment, I might be feeling happy, I could be feeling fearful, I could be feeling sad, I could be feeling surprised, astonishment, or I'm angry, or I'm loathing it, disgust. These are the main um, pyramid of emotions. And inside of it, we do have different emotions we can think about. Something like worry, insecurity, vulnerable, inadequacy, embarrassment. When do you feel these feelings? When we are feeling fearful about our marks, someone comes and says that we got this much performance, then I get into vulnerability whether I can get there or not. When someone is more beautiful than me, I can get more vulnerable about my own body, my own color, my own um, strengths. Then sadness is when you all know how. Surprise is something which is a positive emotion, which is always looking forward. We are amazed about certain things. Anger again is a negative emotion, which is which is, you all know how when you get angry. And disgust is when you feel resentful about, feel shameful, bitter, jealous, disappointed about things, and you already know what is happiness. So these are the wheel of emotions. And in case if anybody of you are not aware of these emotions, please take a picture, or make to understand how what kind of emotion you are currently facing. Okay, what do we do once you know what is the emotion I'm right now facing? And if I know that that emotion falls under happy emotion or a low emotion, okay, which is causing me more distress, anything. So when it is happy emotion, it's fine. You are happy, there's nothing you can do about it, or maybe you could journal about it to understand why you're feeling happy. So next time when you're feeling that emotion, you can savor it for more, right? But if it is something which you're feeling as a negative emotion, which is causing you more distress, okay, maybe it's fear, anger, sadness, or any of these subsequent emotions, what you could do at that time is what we first wanted to understand to enhance our resiliency. The first thing we could do is self-soothing, which is we have five senses, right? So what can we do to calm ourselves using our five senses, which is your touch. You might have pets at home, you might have a stress ball, or you have something, cool water, or um, uh, touching the surface of your table, just looking at it without any judgment, just touching it and feeling that sense of warmth. So we are just soothing ourselves when you know that you're very angry, instead of banging doors, or yelling, kicking, shouting, blaming, or just keeping it silent because you don't want to confront or don't want to get into conflicts, or you are crying, or you just go spend money, or sometimes in extreme cases you just want to consume drugs and certain things which are very harmful for our body. Instead of those kind of things, what can we do positively to handle our stress is what we are trying to learn now, which is self-soothing is one of the, it is, we are not trying to solve the problem, but we are just trying to soothe ourselves, trying to calm ourselves through our senses. One is the touch, another is here, listening to music, listening to some guided meditation, whichever is calming, listening to relaxing music, or some music which can help you calm yourself, which is peppy music or rap or whatever is your kind of music. Whenever you're stressed, this can be one way you could handle yourself. Another is something you could see, something like your own happy pictures, your own photo album, your own Instagram account, or your own gallery of pictures. So you are instantly distracting yourself from that current stressor into something which is soothing you, which is making you feel better. So that is something which you can see, and something you can taste, something like a sour candy, mint or tea, herbal tea or coffee or ice cream in very limited quantities. We are not talking here about binge eating, but we are trying to calm ourselves. So, in terms of if we are South Indian, we can eat murku, those savories and snacks, we can have those sounds that can help us calm ourselves. Okay, so one, please make a note whenever you when you are feeling stressed. The first thing you could do, any of these things is your emotional toolkit. You can have it in your kitty, so whenever you want it, you can use it. So one is your touch, one is your hear, one is your see, one is your taste, another is your smell. So smell is your lavender oil or your some cream, lotion, perfume, flowers, some fragrances which can have a calming effect upon you. So you need to figure out which are the ones which can help me calm myself during those times. Some people use scented candles. So anything that you like is in your kit. Okay, so your kit will have things which are helpful for you. Let's not try to discard other choices, but this is your kit, so this is personalized to you. So every person is different, so some person may feel calmer when they listen to music, another person can feel calmer when they draw. So it is up to you, individual, but we are here to explain multiple ways you could distract yourself. So one is self-soothing, another is trying to off your mind from that stressor, be it studies, be it a fight with your parent, be it your fight with your sibling, girlfriend, boyfriend, friends, in general, anything that's stressing to you, you could distract from that moment, from that particular stress, into doing something else which is entirely different, which is positive in nature, like solving crosswords, puzzles, reading books, or doing some art and craft, or some trying to do some cooking, some making yourself a sandwich, or trying to browse through a music website, or watching a funny movie, or a funny clip, or a comic clip. Something which can distract you is one more technique you could use when you're stressed, and when you can identify which of these emotions you're going through. Then other is doing an opposite, especially when times like when you have low motivation to study, when you feel you're not good. So the best thing you could do is try to do something that is opposite of that particular impulse, which can generate a positive emotion. Something like, if I say I'm not good, then what is that we are feeling? We might be feeling low. Then the opposite action could be repeatedly telling myself I'm good, I'm okay, things are gonna go well. Trying to give an opposite. I am lazy. I can't do this. This is one word. So the opposite of it is I can do it. Let me get into action. So something which can trigger an opposite action that can enhance my mood. That is the third thing you could do. Usually we use affirmations, inspirational quotes, positive quotes, motivational statements to read whenever we feel this, or something which can cheer up instantly, especially when things are like sad, or when you're feeling extremely anger. Instead of reacting to that, let's have response time. Reaction and response is, reaction is instantly trying to talk back, instantly you're trying to do some action. Than that, let's try to respond. Response is giving you some time to think about the pros and cons, and seeing how the situation can be handled in a more better way, such that you and the other person both wins. It's not just you put across your point, and it is up to that person to live it, whether to take it or leave it. Instead of that, if you can get into a place where both of us can make a win-win situation out of this conflict, such things we can explore when we just give us a 90-second break between the thing that has happened. Someone has scolded me, someone has insulted me, someone has given a negative comment about me, or something is triggered between some person has done something to trigger my emotional sadness or anger or fear. Instead of instantly reacting to it, if we can give a 90-second break by calming these techniques, it can aid into much more positive outcomes. Okay. Then other thing which you could do is be mindful about it. Okay, mindfulness is nothing but, you have heard about mindfulness meditations and stuff like that. But mindfulness is not something which you can develop only through meditations. It can be also done through multiple activities either. um, to just give a sense of one mindful activity, just to see, that it's not so difficult for us to become mindful. Let us do one small technique. Okay. Just see, are you able to hear some noises around you? Something, fan sound, AC sound, some parents talking, some sounds of crickets, or some birds chirping, or some
Yes.
sound, any some small sound, are you able to hear?
Yes.
Okay, so can you just hear to those sounds? Just
Yeah.
pay attention to that sound, and notice the finer details, like what is the pitch, what is the timbre, what is the volume, what is the tone, and just see if you could not judge it, saying, oh, this is awful, this is bad, this is not good, this is not so well. Instead of that, can we bring ourselves to just listen to it, just for 1 minute? Okay, not more time, 1 minute only. Can we do that? Okay, I'm just giving a 1 minute break. Just let me just do that, and let's talk back.
Hmm.
Just listen to the sound of whatever you're hearing, one at a time. Just listen it. Notice it. What is the timbre, volume, sound? And whenever the urge comes to resist, that I don't want to do it, just let it go and just come back to the sound. All right, you've done great job. So was it difficult? Somebody, can you please tell me, was it difficult? Doing this was difficult?
No, no, it wasn't.
This is being mindful about sound. Okay, we said self-soothing, this one of it is sound, right? Same thing, you can bring mindfulness to smell, mindfulness to the touch. You can touch something which is near to you. Say something, I have a Ganesha next to me, so I touch it. When I'm feeling stressful, I just touch it and close it without getting into, oh, this is so soft, this is so hard. I'm just trying to observe, oh, it has this kind of here, it is
Good
here,
evening,
it is
ma'am.
soft here, oh, it is soft, it is here, it is sharp, oh, it is here, very
Good
nice
evening, ma'am.
glass. Oh, okay. So I'm just trying to be curious about the object instead of judging. Oh, this is very small. This is very hard. Instead of that, I'm trying to get
Ma'am,
what is the Ganesha about? How is it looking? Oh, I'm not judging it. Is it looking beautiful? Is it looking? That is not the context of mindfulness. I'm only trying to see
ma'am,
is the texture, is it soft, hard, one at a time. So when I'm
ma'am,
really angry, just get one thing and just try to see it instantly. When you are moving our mind from that to the Ganesha's touching or anything which is object, I have a remote control, I'm touching it. So I'm trying to see, look at the things from a new perspective, because we are so busy just looking around, not even giving equal importance to each object which is around us. So this is how you can bring mindfulness. You're centering yourself, you're grounding yourself. So inside of that, you're calming yourself. Because whenever you're angry, upset, whatever is your reaction, that calms down. When you calm down, it becomes opposite. So your heart rate calms down, your spread, pounding heart, all these calm down. So that is when you feel you're relaxed. So from stress, you're moving to calming down techniques. And the last thing which is very important is sharing your feelings with your parents, with your friends. Whenever you're feeling that, okay, this is something which is paining me, can we bring ourselves to talk to your friends, talk to your parents who can understand what you are going through. It is very not like blaming. Okay, you in your schools, did they teach you about the I statements? Did they teach I statements in the school? Yes, no, maybe.
No.
No. Okay. So I statements are okay. Let's take another session for communications, but this time let's make it shorter. So I statements are the things generally. If I don't like something in people, how do I tell it? I tell it like, don't do this. So what are we trying to do when we say that? We are trying to say that the other person, we are blaming them. If I'm blaming somebody, will they do something which I like to do? Instead of that, if I can tell it in a way which can invoke empathy. You know what is empathy? Empathy is being in other people's shoes, trying to understand what the other person is feeling and trying to act upon it. Okay, so when I am angry, I just say, please don't do this. Instead of, even I don't use please, hey, don't do this, I don't like it, you always do this, can you please stop? These are the things we use. Instead of that, can I get into a place where I can say, when I hear you saying this, I feel bad. I can talk about an emotion. Why I don't want to do this, I feel angry, I feel sad. Because of that, can you please try to do in this way? So when I'm trying to put my feelings and what is happening to me when the other person does that, it is not I'm blaming that person because you are doing this, I'm getting this. No, what I'm trying to say is,
ma'am,
hear this, I feel scared, I feel fearful, I get angry because my needs are not met. And when I don't do that, I can you please act in this particular way that can help me feel better. So I'm putting forth a request. In that way, when I communicate with people, the chances of the other person taking it positively is high. And we want the other person to be listening to us, right? We want our needs to be expressed. We want to express our needs. We want them to follow our request. At that time, when we, instead of blaming them, instead of belittling them, instead of making them feel guilty, can we put forth a conversation in a way which is of request, is what I'm trying to say. So when we'll take another session on this, because this is a little complicated topic, but for the sake of trying to give you introduction about each of these things, let's get there. So that is how we can talk to our parents, to our friends, using I statements on how I want to express my needs, and how I can talk about my innermost fears, innermost feelings, innermost disappointments, to seek help. Instead of bottling it down, thinking nobody will understand my fears, can we attempt to talk to others. So these are your emotional kit. So right now, what you can do after the session is explore each of these things. Try to see what can you do. How will touch can help you? How can hearing sounds can help you? So if that is sound, what kind of music will calm you? Try to find out. Okay, if I see pictures, what kind of pictures will help me? Are they funny pictures? Are they cute baby animal pictures? Are they pigeon pictures? Are they nature pictures? What kind of pictures can help me relax? You need to find out. That's the reason I asked you to write down, because every person is different. So another thing is affirmations. Whatever the other person say, whatever you think, your self talk, critical talk is there, no, which will keep saying no, 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 you're not good, you're not good, or whatever is that I message, it keeps talking. Yes, Bobby. Bobby, you raised the hand.
Was it? Sorry.
No problem. So
Actually, Teju, hi. There is another participant who's been trying to ask you a question.
okay,
If you see the chat, I think you.
it's not audible.
No, no, we can hear you, but I think there is a question from someone.
Not, what question?
It's from Nabpal.
The topic of this meeting about how you can be resilient during times of stress, be it academic stress, be it school stress or life stress. Is that okay? Yes, now I'm not able to get what you're trying to ask me. Oh yeah, probably. Join, Mark. Everybody is able to listen. So just join once again. Or else this audio is, I'm recording this, so you can also listen it whenever, and you can write to me whenever you have a question. Okay. Just join back. In case not, this is the other way. I'll take the questions towards the end, or else we'll do it again. Okay. Then other thing is meditate. Just now I said how we can do mindfulness of sounds, right? So
Good evening, ma'am.
whenever we hear to this feeling of meditate, we have a lot of
Ma'am, can you hear me?
which we have said that meditation is boring, meditation is it's very, very, I feel sleepy when I meditate. This is very, very, yeah.
One kid is asking something.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Babu, I can hear, Nana. Tell me.
Okay, I was asking what was the topic.
I told, na, the topic is whenever you're feeling stressed because of school or otherwise, what kind of techniques you could do to bounce back from that stress into a happier zones, into productive zones. So when we all know that we are stressed, right? Sometimes we are stressed due to exams, low marks, because of fights, conflicts, whatever is the reason, or when we are fearful about things, what can happen tomorrow or today. that is it is good, we can feel these emotions. I'm not saying we should not fear, but too much times recurringly feeling these emotions repeatedly can be detrimental to our health. That is the reason we should find out ways that can help us relax and every day do some things to enhance our emotional quotient. Is that understood?
Yes. Can you help people like
uh,
that?
I'm sorry about this group, because I just kept it as 10 to 20. So I'm using very, very simple terminologies and words such that it is understood by everybody. Okay. So kindly bear with that simplicity, because if you just use
Okay.
little more complicated, I feel that the younger ones may not follow. So if anyone wants to know the technicality behind it, we can you can discuss with me and I can write back to you on those things. Okay. So
Can I write something in chat box?
please write. I'll respond to you.
Ah,
Can I
Thank
complete
you.
this?
that class.
Okay. So so one thing I wanted to bring focus is, whenever everyday actions I said, right? One is, so coming back to the topic of what I started, what are the 7 principles I can build resiliency? Okay, the first thing I told you is about your emotional awareness, which is knowing how am I feeling every day, at every moment, most of the day, and trying to help yourself relax using positive techniques. This is technique 1. The technique 2 I'm talking about is daily meditation. So everybody has a kind of aversion or a kind of whatever is that mental block towards meditation. um, I would want to I would want to again give you one small technique. Okay, let's do this for our one small breathing technique. Meditation is you're putting your focus on one small thing. So let's do it on breath for now, just for 1 minute again. Okay, everyone along with me. Okay, when I say on the count of 4, you're putting a hand on your belly, on your stomach. Okay, on your belly, and take a deep breath in the count of 4. Okay, I just say 1 2 3 4. You need to breathe inside, and when I just say hold, you need to hold it. Means hold, you should not breathe out and breathe whatever air it went into your chest, let it be there. And when I say breathe out, you just breathe out in the count of 8. Okay, all with me? Okay, now let's do 4 7 8 breathing. Okay, on the count. Okay, breathe in 1 2 3 4. Hold 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Breathe out 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Again, breathe in the count of 4 1 2 3 4. Hold 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Breathe out in the count of 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Excellent. Now let's do it 2 more times. Now this time I'm going to do 4 7 8, and you're going to do it by yourself. Okay, I'm going to say breathe in, you're going to do it in the count of 4. Then I say hold, you're going to count till 7, and then you're going to breathe out in the count of 8. Just do 2 times so that you know how easy it is to do these breathing techniques, but how efficient it is. Okay, let's do again. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Again, breathe in, hold, Smita. So you understood how it is? You understood how it is, how simple it is? Someone, can you please speak out?
Yes, ma'am.
So when do we use this technique? Whenever you're feeling stressed, whenever you're feeling I'm not getting sleep, whenever you're feeling I'm feeling anxious, especially when you're in exam, you try to, sometimes your hands get sweaty, you get pounding in your stomach, you have butterflies, you have nervousness, you forget the answer. All these things happen, right? Especially when an exam is very tough for you. At that time, use this technique. Okay, any of these techniques you can use at that time. You're sitting in the exam room and you just forget all the answer, you studied so hard, but this is physics exam and you're very scared about it, or it's maths and you're hyper scared about it. At that time, use these techniques. Take a pic, just try to feel the sense of touch, because in exam you can't do music, pictures and all that. So try to see if you can use the sense of touch, use the sense of breath to calm yourself down. And during that time, this is something which can be very helpful. You can listen to the sound of fan and tuck tuck tuck. Some crows are cawing. So those sounds can calm you down, because according to the science, what happens is when you study in one mindset, and it is all stored in your head now, in your memory cells. And when you want to retrieve it again, it has to be in the same state. If it is not, you will not be able to remove it. It's like your key and lock. When you have your key, you can open it with the same lock. You can't do it lock and key, and you can open it with the same key. You can't open it with different locks, isn't it? Similarly, when you're studying and how when you're retrieving your information, it has to be in the same state of mind. Otherwise, you'll not remember, and that is
Ma'am,
what is anxiety. And that is when you can use these techniques to center yourself and calm down yourself, so that you will be able to write whatever you have studied well. Okay,
ma'am,
so simple is your breathing technique, and similarly is your meditation technique also. It's all, once you practice, these are all skills. It can't come just like that. So when you practice more, you will get it. The next thing we want to talk about is gratitude. What do we do when we feel, if always this is comparison world, right? This person has this person has this, I want this not with me, I don't have this. I thought I'll study 5 topics, but I just didn't study even 4. Such a loser I am, I don't want to even plan my studies. Oh, I can't take this. Instead of thinking about can't, what are all the pessimistic things that has happened, what are all the negative things that has happened, can we shift our focus from negative to positive every day? So can we look at our view from the world from a lens of gratitude? So what happens is, when I look myself from a lens of gratitude, I seek for positivity. Okay, I look for one thing which is good in that person, one thing which is good in me. So every day I'm trying to be grateful for my life, grateful for, see, so many got coronavirus, we didn't get. So can we feel grateful for it? Can we feel grateful for our body, that see we are being protected? Or if someone of us have got coronavirus also, they have recovered. So can we feel grateful for our bodies that we have recovered, instead of feeling, oh, I why did I get when none of them got, why did I suffer? Or okay, whenever we studied one topic when you plan for 5 topics, you studied only one topic. Can we feel grateful to yourself that, oh, I studied one, I got it one. And why did I not complete 4? Because maybe I planned more, maybe my planning was not right. Instead of thinking, oh, I can't plan because planning doesn't work for me, can we feel grateful for things which are there in our life, and then see whatever are the gaps that has happened, can we look it from the lens of learning from mistakes? You understand? So can you all write 5 things that you're grateful for today in your notebook? So we have different locks, right? For your one door, you have another lock. For another door, you have another lock. For each lock, we have there's a key, right? So can you open one key with another lock? We can't do it, correct? Similarly, when you study, I'm repeating this because Nab wanted to understand this lock and key theory with respect to studies. So when you study, your mind is in particular state of mind, maybe it's calm, it's relaxed, whatever is that state, it is focused state. So whenever you are trying to retrieve information from that particular place, you need to have be the same state of mind. And when it is happened, you'll be able to open it and retrieve information from it. So what is the state of mind you put information into your mind, same thing should be there when you have to retrieve information from your mind. Okay, and when it is not, you get into these kind of symptoms where you can't remember what is happening. Your mind becomes blank, or you will not be able to recollect. And when you come to the same state of mind as what you have when you study, you suddenly remember things. That is why when just after coming out of the exam hall, or just coming out, you will be able to remember. But when that exam hall tension is happening, you will forget. You know, the moment it happens that I'm not able to remember what is being studied, think if you're what is your stress, what is my stress level now, am I stressed, get present to the symptoms of stress. Is it my heart is pounding, or am I having butterflies, I'm in stomach pain, I have muscle pain, I have headache, I have sweaty palms, what is that happening with me? And then try to do any of these techniques so that you will be able to calm yourself. The moment you calm yourself, how much ever it takes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you will be able to perform better, you will be able to recollect things. Okay, understood now? Hmm? So that, so then we are moving on to the gratitude. So I asked you to write 5 things you're grateful. Everybody, did you complete that exercise? What are you grateful? Can somebody talk to me about what are you grateful about? 5 things I asked you to be grateful. So no point me telling you listening just like a class. If you can't take these
Ma'am,
things,
can I tell?
I will call out some names. Okay, you may have to guess.
Okay.
Okay, let me see someone. Shobna Damija. Yes. Arav, let's complete this activity and then we'll talk. Okay, you also want to talk what are 5 things you're grateful about? So let's hear from Shobna and then you speak. Shobna, what are you grateful about today? 5 things I want.
So, I'm very grateful for, I mean, in our community, if we have certain issues, we have the solutions also. I'm grateful for,
Okay, I will give
like
you
you
a
said,
clue. Can you be
coronavirus
what
is
are you grateful
everywhere.
about your
Hello.
family?
I'm certainly very grateful for a loving family and a loving and a beautiful house. Grateful for this wonderful environment, the people I have around me, a support system I have. Um, I think these are on top of my mind. Let's hear from others.
Yes. Let's talk. Thanks, Shobna. Varun, what are you grateful about? Varun, you're there? See, this is not to place you in like, some pointer or something like that. I just wanted to practice. Otherwise, it becomes theory. Okay. So who is ready? Let's listen from them. Arav, you said, na? You wanted to say, what are you, at least tell 3 things that you're grateful about.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm grateful for my supportive parents. I'm grateful for the luxuries I have in life. I'm grateful for the athletic ability God gave me. That's why
Wonderful.
I can play different sports.
Yes.
I'm grateful for my sharp brain, and well, I guess that's it.
Very nice. So now tell me, how are you feeling when you express feelings of grateful? Okay, people, please practice it. Okay, so think about something which you are not good today. Arav, can you also tell me one thing which you are disappointed about? Also, people, think about this. Think about a thing you are disappointed today. How does that make you feel? Okay, Arav,
Ma'am,
can you volunteer for this session for me, please?
me, Ara.
Yeah. Can you tell me one thing you are feeling bad about today?
It's that we are in a lockdown, and we're not allowed to step out of the house much,
Yeah.
And since there are many cases in my community, I can't do many things which I used to do on a daily basis, like go out to a mall, or go for an event, or step out of the community. So I'm disappointed because of that.
Yes. Now let's see how can we look this from the lens of gratitude. So tell me what is that one thing you could think feel grateful about this lockdown? I know it is pathetic, but can we look? That's what we are trying to do, right? Looking the world from the lens of gratitude, even to the bad things. So can we see what can we do? One thing which you can think about feeling grateful for being locked down. What one good thing can possibly is possible or may be possible for you because of you being at home for extended time?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
can I answer?
uh, I'll come to you, Arpita. Very good, you have volunteered. I just want this to be done with Arnav so that the same thing can apply. So I'm not talking about seeing the lens of gratitude for good things, but can we also look at being grateful for not so good things, difficult relations, challenges, difficulties at work, difficulties at home? Can we see it? What is that I can? What is one thing I can be grateful for this experience? What is it learning? Adam, if you want time, I'll move to Arpita. Okay?
Ma'am, I already have points.
Yes.
So one is I strengthened the bond with my family. Before I couldn't spend much time with them because I was really busy. And
Yes.
now I can spend more time with them, like, maybe television time or playing board games. And also I develop new skills and
Perfect.
hobbies like cooking and baking and all. So,
Yes,
yeah.
see, that is what now see, how was your experience when you are feeling disappointed? How was your feeling inside you? And when you express gratitude, how did it shift?
Well,
Can
I
you
wasn't anymore, and I always used to keep myself engaged in so initially I was bored, but then I got used to it, and once I developed new skills, it was not that hard to go through.
Yes. So the moment we look at things from the lens of gratitude, it is like the two sides of the coin. Disappointment, stress, pain can't be in a place where you can express gratitude for the same situation. So same way, make a note of 5 things you are very painful about, maybe with your relation with your parents, with your friends, for studies, for whatsoever. 5 things. If there are adults in this community, also think about 5 things: money, relations, work, uh, relation with your children, spouse, and then probably your spirituality or career growth, whatsoever is difficult for you. Try to see one thing, at least 3 things is best. Try to see what this experience has taught me, and moment by moment, when you are practicing this every day, that is when we build our resilience to be more stronger and bounce back from those kind of disappointments every single day. Because all these skills, it's not just yarn and you hear and forget about it. We need to practice. The more we practice, the more the skill is getting built. All right. Arpita, sorry. Thank you for waiting. Can you tell me, Arpita?
Yeah.
Yes, ma. What are the 5 things you're grateful for today?
I'm really grateful for the food that's coming on my plate. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my
Perfect.
friends. I'm grateful for everything I have. I'm grateful for getting clothes from different stores and everything.
Okay. And then can you also think about one thing you're not so good about? I'm feeling not good about, and then see if you can express gratitude and tell me what is happening with that. Just for
Oh,
practice, so that people also
yeah.
start doing, that again and again, because there is immense immense and immense value in expressing gratitude. Immense. We can't even think about it. The next comes after meditation, that the equal practice which has that kind of power in terms of building resiliency is journaling and gratitude. That's the reason I'm spending a little more time on this.
I'm kind of disappointed on how like other situation is because I moved to a different school and I really want to meet the people in real life. So I'm really disappointed that the situation is like this, and hopefully it like becomes better later.
Yeah. So what is one good thing you learned about it, even with this experience? What can you find one thing to be grateful about in
I
of
definitely
experience?
I'm grateful that this experience has always educated all our minds. Now we know to be more careful. Before, like all of us, like especially like when we were kids, we didn't know a lot about germs and everything. We're like, yeah, it's there, we'll get sick. But now we're like learning, oh, it's actually really serious, so we have to take a lot more care about it.
Yeah, very nice. So see, whenever you look something which is difficult for you from the lens of gratitude, automatically that difficult emotion goes away and it replaces with a positive emotions. So that is where we will be able to be in more positive states more, and every day we are in more positive state, and the more we are positive, the more you are happier, and it contributes to your well-being, and you will have tools to bounce back whenever you have some difficult situations. Okay, moving on. Thank you for being patient and being
Yeah,
being
no problem.
cooperating with me, because I want this to be really grounded uh, kind of thing. The another thing which is again very very important is self-love. Okay, self-love is, are we in a place to accept about ourselves, everything about ourselves, in a very very um, loving way, all are good and bad, all are better things and not so good things about ourselves. So again, it is about how you see yourself, how you treat yourself, and how you think about yourself. So what is that I'm saying about how you see yourself is, say for example, there are some people who are lean, some people who are stout, who are some people are fair, some people are wheat. How do we see ourselves when we look at ourselves in the mirror? Do we love ourselves when we look at ourselves in the mirror? Are we bringing forth that kind of love when we see it, when we see this? Or one sec, if somebody is trying to, one second. Yeah, sorry. So what I was saying was, we are trying to um, is my screen sharing stopped? Oh, so sorry. So we are talking about self-love, right? So how am I looking in my mirror and telling about myself? Am I loving what I'm seeing there? Am I treating myself with whatever is the diet, nutrition that is required? I mean, am I able to restrict myself from eating junk because it is not healthy for me? Because when I love myself so well, how can I how can I do something bad for myself? Isn't it so? Tell me something which you love dearly. Say for example, you love your, say something, what you love in your life. Somebody, in again, can you please, somebody, Sonal, what do you love in yourself?
This is Sonal's son, and I love many things, such as I love my talents.
You
I
love your
love,
parents. You tell me something which is to you, what you love, because I wanted to help you understand. If you love something so dearly, do you want to put any negative things in it? Say something like a toy, okay, toy, or your gadget, something which is yours. What one thing you love, you tell me.
uh, my laptop.
Yeah. So when is laptop, how do you see it? How do you handle it? How do you treat it? How do you think about it? Do you drink it with care?
Uh, yeah,
How do you
I
treat it?
like make sure there are no virus, and I do checks, and I clean it once in a while. I try to improve its performance. I use it very often.
Awesome. Now tell me, this is our body. We are here in this lifetime till from the time I'm born till the time I die. I'm to be with this body. Isn't it so? I have to be with this. Not only to, this is not to only Sonal, but for everybody. So because we are talking about acceptance and self-love. So when I see myself in my mirror, what do I look in the mirror? That is me. So don't I want to love myself? Don't I want to accept myself as something which is, this is me? Am I special? Yes. So I get a lot of people who says, the other person got this much, I got this much mark, so I'm not good. So if, what is the law of comparison? You know, can you compare an isometric triangle with a scalene triangle? Can some math geeks tell me this? Isometric and scalene. Can we compare? Yes or no? Quickly.
No.
Correct? So if you and your classmate is in the same class, what gives you, what kind of properties do you see that you want to compare them with others? What are those properties? There is only one law of symmetry, which is law of symmetry says we can compare one person with other when it is same. So, and when just now you guys said that you can't compare equilateral triangle with scalene triangle because both of them are triangles, but they are not same. Their properties are not the same. If that is true, then this should also be true, right? That I can't compare myself with anybody in the world because I am unique. Nobody else is there like me. Can you find somebody like me only, like this Teju auntie, who is having this hair, this bindi, this thing, this bangle, this dress? Dress can be done, but this face probably, this body shape. No, we can't find. So every person of you here is special. Every person of you are beautiful. So whatsoever it is, that is me. That is what makes me me. I may not be speaking American accent, but that is what me is. So should I feel bad that, oh, there's so many educated students here who are all coming from US, they may not follow my English. Oh, how can I deliver this to such intelligent students, such well reformed family? How can I do it? If I keep feeling bad about myself, can I shine my light? No, right? I'm okay with being me. So that is my request to each of you here. Please don't compare. Come, only look at where you started as your journey. I started so. Today I am having 2 marks in maths. Earlier I used to have half a mark. Probably 2 is not the right answer. I am having 40 marks out of 50. But earlier I used to have 25. From 25 I came to 26, 27, 28, 29 and then 40 now. So I should feel grateful. Look at it from the lens of gratitude about yourself, about the tenacity with which you worked hard, about with the commitment you had, for the dedication you had, for the love with which you pulled yourself. There might be situations you didn't want to do it, but still you did it. So get yourself from the journey, look back, see where you started to where you are today. Feel grateful for that. Feel proud about yourself for your contributions. That's what you could tell yourself. Then that's when your self-esteem, the self-confidence that I can do anything increases, as long as I'm comparing with my own self, not with someone else. Because their life is different. They are different. We are unique. We don't can't find one more piece like us. At that time, the properties of comparison don't fit. So we can't do it. Understood? So please make a promise to yourself from today. You're not going to compare yourself with anybody. And let's talk a little bit about how do we deal with someone who has everything, looks like Instagram's account, followers, dresses, lot of materialistic possessions. How can we be dealing with such people when such people come in our school, in our classes, in the people? When I don't have a latest iPhone gadget, another person has, how can I feel not low about myself by comparing where I came from? The materialistic possessions are not a, a, a yardstick for your self-worth. They are your whatever is your money, status, your whatever your gifts. These are all not the comparison stakes for who you are. You can be, even though you are here, you don't have nothing. There are certain things you can always be with, just like your own gifts and talents, your own skills. Those are the things which can define your self-worth, not the other things. So even if there are certain people who are bullying you, that, okay, this is not who, you don't have this, you don't have this. Can we bring to a state of ignorance? Can we bring forth ignoring them, thinking that they are in their own journey, let me not get into their head, and let me be in my way? And if it becomes too much, can we bring forth courageous trait and talk to our parents about what is stressing you out at school or at the community, instead of keeping bottling it to yourself? Getting my point, children? So kindly accept who you are. Treat your body as a temple. Refrain from using toxic purposes just because of coolness, just because you want to fit into blocks. If, as just say, Anvika said, she's gonna treat her laptop with so much care because it's loving. So how much you should love yourself when you're here from first year to 70 years and you're with the same body and shape? Why can't we accept this as me and be okay with what I am? There are certain things which I can change, something like my weight. I can work on it and reduce it. So, can I take a purposeful action towards that instead of feeling low about myself? And there are certain things which can't be changed, something like how I'm, maybe my texture of my skin. Can I accept it and just say, this is me? Anyone has a problem with it? That's their problem. I'm totally cool with who I am. Can we bring forth that kind of confidence in each of us? Yeah, that's the fourth thing I want you to do. So, can you please declare yourself in the book right now? It's like a declaration. I'm gonna love myself fully and completely. I'm not gonna treat my body as junk. I'm gonna treat it with care. I'm gonna give it sleep, the required sleep. I'm gonna give it the required love, nutrition, care. I'm putting all whatever it requires, your body requires. You know, all those things. Can you please make a declaration in your notebook? Tell yourself how I'm gonna love myself. I'm giving you 1 minute time. Can you please do that? I may stretch around another 10 minutes, so sorry for this. So I'll close it at 5:40. Done? Yeah, thanks, Rama. Yeah, math geek is someone who is good at maths. Done? Can I hear some declarations of self-love from anybody? If nobody volunteers, I'm gonna speak out. I'm gonna call out names, because I don't want this session to be like I say you hear. Let me type names. Pragya, can I hear your declaration of self-love? Pragya, again, this is not to put you in focus, but just to, we are all humans. It's okay. Let's be open. There is no judgment here. Pragya, Lohit, am I audible? Yes?
Yes.
I want to hear one declaration of self-love from anybody, if someone doesn't want to do. Sonsi Padmanabham, can you please tell one declaration of self-love? What are you gonna do to stop comparing yourself if you were comparing earlier? Or how are you gonna treat yourself? How are you gonna think about yourself? And how are you gonna see yourself when you look at mirror? Three declarations. I'm gonna see myself as somebody who is looking good. I love my body. I'm gonna think good about me. Whenever I feel I'm not good, I'm gonna tell myself I am good. I'm gonna treat it with care and gentleness, because this body has to survive till 70 years. So I'm gonna fill it with a lot of nutrition. This is my declaration. What is yours? Anybody please volunteer. We are running out of time, please. Chaitanya, please. Divisha,
I'm
thanks. Please.
how do we construct the sentence stage?
How are you gonna see yourself, Chetu? Tell,
I'm
I'm
going
gonna
I'm
see
going
myself.
to
When I look into my mirror, I'm gonna see myself someone
as joyful, healthy, and yeah, spreading smiles.
very nice. See, that's how simple. I look myself into the mirror and tell myself this is who I am. And when she thinks about herself, she thinks that she's somebody who's joyful. And how do you treat yourself, Chaitu?
With more self-love, care, and yeah, having the right diet
Yeah.
and
Thank you so much for volunteering. See, that's so simple. I'm going to treat myself with lot of love, care by giving it nutrition. Yes, Arav, I'm so happy. Come on, tell me what's your self-love declaration.
When I look in the mirror, I think I'm very handsome, and I'm very good from inside,
Yes,
and spread a lot of positivity, and I'm
yes,
proud about.
yes. And when the need for comparison comes, what's you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Say you since you're an athlete, you would have failed, you would have lost your match or something, or whatever is the need for comparison. When there is a need for comparison that arises, how you're gonna tell yourself?
I'll just prove to be better. That's it.
You'll say what?
I'll prove to be better when it comes to comparison, or I'll just ignore it.
Yeah, if it is something which you can't take any action, you're gonna ignore about it. If there is something you can take action about it, you're gonna work on it. But you're always gonna compare yourself with your own journey, not because someone else told something. Is that right?
Yes.
Got it, everyone? So we are gonna take some things which are, we first let avoid need for approval, seeking approval for some things. Let's quit approving, because we know how good we are and how bad we are, and every one of us are in our own journey, and we are going to take that direction. Okay, and someone makes us feel not so good, let's talk to them about I statements. As I said, next class I'll take I statements, but for now let's try to communicate without making them into getting into guilt trips. Okay, thanks Arnav, thanks Chaitanya. And let's move on to next topic, which is again the next, which is very important, is health. So what are we doing to make ourselves healthier? As just now our Chaitanya said and Arnav said, what are we doing to make our body more stronger and fitter? Can we bring ourselves to at least exercise 30 minutes a day? Anything which you love, it could be even gardening, any physical activity that can help you be in positivity, because when you do physical activity you have happy hormones that get released, and because of that we will be feeling more healthier, better. So whenever you're feeling stressed, you can also go for a long walk, which is, I didn't tell that because today since we are in lockdown situations and I didn't want to feel, but in the future, whenever you're feeling stressed, you can just come out of that place and just go for a stroll around the nature or around your school, around your campus or wherever you are, so that you're again getting distracted from it. So please make your health your priority. Already, according to our Indian statistics, adolescents in India are number one in obesity, because obesity is a condition where you're much more heavier than your height. So see how you could reduce toxins, fatty substances into your diet. Have a balanced diet which is containing whole wheat, your cereals, your pulses, your limited fats and sweets and dairy. You all know what is a balanced diet, right? In your school, you're being taught about it. Kindly don't ignore it. Try to see how you can balance it with a lot of fresh fruits, 5 servings of fruits and salads, and then a lot of nutrition and 30 minutes of exercise, minimum 8 hours of sleep, and 2 liters of water. Minimally, I'm talking about. So you can go up to 4. The more water you drink, the more you're flushing toxic things from your body. So these are the things which you could do to make yourself healthier every day. And the last two things, but most important things, is laughter. I'm not saying playfulness is something we are very playful that you're not taking your work seriously, but can we bring playfulness to the aspect of about your quicks, about your failures, about your things which I'm not really so strong about either. Bring that kind of laughterness into your own self instead of being always stiff, not being able to accept criticism, not being, getting flared if someone gives us a comment. Can we say, someone says, hey, Teju, what is this? You're getting like a balloon. Every year you're just getting like a balloon. You're expanding. I can say, oh yeah, I'm becoming a balloon. One day I will also fly. Instead of thinking, how come she says I'm fat? How come she says, does she doesn't know that I'm in doctor? How can I exercise? Blah, 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 ta, 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 ta. Instead of doing all that in my mind, can I just bring playfulness to that and say that, yeah, one day I will also float. Looks like that. Let me see how I can pump in helium more so that I can go higher. That's playfulness instead of making it too serious about things. That is what life is all about, living life joyfully. So why don't we bring more joyfulness to our failures either? Instead of saying, oh, I'm failing. Okay, let me see how I can get that. I bring my focus into my work. But it doesn't mean that I'm okay being fat, or I'm being okay not being fit. But at that moment when someone gives me a comment which is of belittling me in any manner, can I bring playfulness into it? Can I bring laughter into it? And diffuse the tension instead of highlighting it and making it too serious that it is suffocating for me also and for others also. Hmm? And the last thing, which is about embracing uncertainty. One of the reasons why we all have a lot of stress is because we don't know what we can't have. We are not in a place where we can embrace what can happen tomorrow. So one of the ways we could embrace uncertainty is we can make it, as I said, all these are skills. Unless until you practice, you won't get it into your life. So how can we embrace uncertainty every day? By setting goals. Voila, by setting goals and trying to, when you will float, what will happen? But wait a minute, I'm not able to see this comment. What is this? Uh, now I didn't understand. I'll complete this and I'll come there. So what I'm trying to say is when I set my goals, I'll be in a place where I'm trying out new things. And when I look at from this growth mindset, where every challenge I look as opportunity to learn rather than fearing from failure. So I stop myself from even trying out. Or can I bring forth the trait of self-discipline, commitment, determination for the things I want in my life instead of thinking that okay, somehow it will happen, somehow my parents will make it happen. Instead of doing that, can I bring forth the trait of self-discipline? Can I have the attitude of can do? Can I move out from my comfort zone of not trying at all to trying, failing, mastering, trying, failing, mastering in this routine, and trying to see what is good in this and what is bad, making healthier options, healthier choices, and making healthier inferences about myself and the world, and then moving forward instead of not trying, failing from failure. I'm so have fear of failure that I don't even try new things. I'm very closed. Instead of when we have this closed feeling, I only go with few friends because this is my circle. I don't want to go away from that. I don't want to include new people into my life because I'm fearing what will people judge me, what will people tell me about, or whatever is that insecurity. Can we embrace that and just bring forth that openness into our lives? And where we are, okay, someone come and support me, it's fine, let me take it forward. I will, and I'm working towards my goals. I'm failing at one point, no problem, I'm going to try again. I am not bringing the necessary mindset. I'm not able to focus. Okay, let me not say I'm a failure. Instead of I'm going to say that I'm not able to focus. Let me bring forth tools so that I can focus better. If I can bring forth this kind of attitude into my daily life, anything that happens, I have control in my life. I have tools to control, and this is where I can be more happier. I can be more maximize my potential to live in a more better life in my school, in my friends, in my community, and also in life. So that is what is all this about. So that is my end of today's talk. Now, anyone wants to have some questions, I can take it. And if someone is stressed out of time, thank you so much for being here. And I think what we spoke for an hour is being beneficial for you, and you will practice this in your everyday life. And not only you practice, but you help your parents, your siblings also share this piece of wisdom and help them be happier. All right. And thank you once again, everybody. Thanks, Arun and Chaitanya, for facilitating this group and making this a nice event for our community where we can help each other. Okay, now questions.
Thanks a lot, Teju, for the wonderful session.
When I float, will the birds and me understand each other? Maybe, maybe not. But I am not taking the comment someone said that Teju, you're becoming like a balloon every day. What is happening with you? Are you not caring about your body? Do some exercise. Then I will say, yeah, yeah, fine, fine, no problem. I'll become a balloon. So I'm bringing laughterness and playfulness to that comment instead of hitting myself like, oh, what is this? Everybody is so slim, so trim. I am see like this. How can I not become like that? And harming myself with lot of dieting, lot of toxins into my body, which is not good for me. Instead of that, let me say, oh, earlier I used to be 95, now I came to 85. Tomorrow I'll become 75. I'll continue my work till I reach my goal. That is the way I think. So that is what I'm trying to tell in this situation. Somebody comments to you, don't think about, oh, that is so harsh. Oh, how can they do this? Or try to uh, please them. Try to do everything that so that you will fear that, okay, if I don't do this, somebody will leave me, so I will not say no to them. Instead of doing all that, set healthy boundaries. When something is troubling you, say no, I can't do this, politely. And something which is bothering you, just set that. I know this is not acceptable for me, this is acceptable for me. And if there is a room for playfulness, bring that to diffuse tension. Bring playfulness instead of being so stiff all the time. Because already we are in home, we are locked down, and we are only seeing these four locks and four doors every day. So the more you are playful, the more you are joyful. That's the reason. Anything else? I think this Zoom thing will be recorded and then I can post it in our community also. So one thing is, I think everyone is okay with your names and all coming in the session when someone look at it for the recording. It's okay, right? If there is a means, it can show up sometimes. Not the chat, but just the names. Any questions? Yeah, thanks, Arul. Any questions, Nick? Also, I want you guys, since if you are mostly teens, kindly come up with topics that's been troubling you. So I would want to do a ask me anything, maybe monthly once or sometime like that. So if something is bothering you, something you don't know how to handle, you have no interest in study or no motivation, you're fearful of a subject, you have a breakup, you have a problem with your friend, parent, anything, I can help you with telling you how you can handle it. So instead of putting it in your heart and not sharing with anybody, please share with us. Not only me, there are multiple experts in our community who can help you in a more better way. So kindly come out and talk about it instead of putting it in your heart and you being in a misery. Okay? So let's see how we all can help each other. Like, see, doctors are helping so many people. So we are also helping everybody. So let's help each other live happy. Huh? Can we, no questions, right? So can we, yes, thanks now. Fine then. Bye, everybody, and thank you so much for being here again. I'm ending the conversation. Okay, bye.